What are the basic characteristics of a competitive CS map? One of the first things you probably said was that it has 2 bombsites. But what if I told you that there was an official CS map that predates Mirage, Dust 2, and Inferno that broke this rule? If you end up liking this video, please do subscribe. It helps me out a lot. Counter-Strike 1.1 was released in 1999. It added a lot to the game, including the ability to spectate matches and the first official inclusion of Inferno, Dust 2, and Vertigo. However, Counter-Strike 1.1 was not only beginnings. It was also the end of the only official Counter-Strike map ever to have 3 bombsites. Foption. Foption, short for Final Option, is the brainchild of John Poor Yurik Atea. Atea started mapping with Marathon, then moved on through the popular shooters of the era, making maps for Doom and Quake until eventually moving on to Half-Life and the Source engine. Atea was approached by Jess Cliff, co-creator of Counter-Strike, about making a map for the game. In Beta 3.0, his first map was released, titled Zero Option, or Zoption for short. This map is a hostage map that appeared in the game for a mere 3 months. Throughout the next year or so, John would have 2 more maps added and then subsequently removed from the game. First CS Ship, another hostage map, this time taking place on a battleship, and then AS Forest, a map for the experimental assassination game mode that didn't end up making the cut. After the removal of Forest in Beta 6.8, John Atea's final and greatest official Counter-Strike map would be released in Beta 7.0, Foption. Taking heavy inspiration from his first map, Zoption, Final Option would be Atea's grandest attempt at making a map yet. His first attempt at making a map for the bomb defusal scenario, Foption was a big deal for him. In an interview with csnation.net, Atea remarked that his prime directive in level design is making fun maps that are nothing like the other ones in the mod. It's my mission to instill as much variety into Counter-Strike as I can. Foption lives up to this as much as it possibly could. This map is weird. The old maps from before the theoretical rules of CS map design were solidified are all so very out of the box. For instance, on Assault, there are usable cameras in CT spawn. Foption also has these. There is a security room near CT spawn where you can view many of the map's corridors. It goes beyond just security cameras though. Foption has a lot of moving parts. There are 2 elevators throughout the map, as well as a lot of button-operated doors. And yes, both of them can absolutely kill you. Foption has another unbelievable mechanic that I just have to talk about. According to the CS wiki page on it, Foption used to have a button next to the T-spawn monitor in the security room. This button was labeled Entry Sweep. According to the wiki, if pressed, the 2 devices attached to the wall at the area will glow with a blue light and scan the section. Afterwards, if there are any players, it will electrocute them. Unfortunately, in the version of Foption that I downloaded, this was removed, so I don't have any footage of it in action. Let's get into the real meat and potatoes of the map and what makes it so different from every other map in the game. The 3 bombsites. Bombsite A is located in CT spawn. This is really the only somewhat normal site of the 3, but it's still not exactly typical. First off, you'll notice immediately that this site has little to no cover. This is a theme throughout the map. It's kind of just a room that a bombsite was added onto. Remember though, this was way before the bomb defusal scenario was fully fleshed out, so people didn't really know that this was going to be an issue. Other than that, let's address the elephant in the room. The giant, see-through spinning globe in the middle of the room. You can shoot it and even run through it or stand in it. I wish that more modern CS maps had giant rotating objects. That's a lost gameplay mechanic that needs to come back. Bombsite B is located at the very back end of the map. It is a large open site with, again, a lack of cover in the traditional sense, albeit with more than the A site. What makes this site weird is that it's not as simple as it seems. One of the main ways to attack this site is from above. There's a room above this site with windows on the floor that you can use to pick off defenders and make your way in. This absolutely sucks in practice, but I like the idea and that's what we're here for. It's weird to say this, but the third and final bombsite of the map, bombsite C, is the really weird one. The centerpiece of the map, bombsite C, takes place within the missile silo at the center of the map. Upon basic inspection, it seems like a pretty weird, closed-off site with only 3 entrances and a small plant zone. But then you look up. The verticality of this site is crazy. There are these 2 walkways on either side of the silo, one mainly accessible to the Ts and one to CTs. As far as I can tell, this is designed so the 2 sides have a duel across the silo, on the upper balconies, at the same time as the Ts are rushing the lower portion and fighting any defenders there. Again, in theory, this is a really cool site. You can also close off the upper portions with these buttons, allowing for safe passage through the corridors, but preventing you from helping any teammates fighting below. Foption really shines when it comes to the beautiful detailing work done on the map. For me, old maps are beautiful in a way that new ones simply cannot be. Our standards for how a Counter-Strike map should look have risen over the years, and looking back at old maps, there's a kind of nostalgic, uncanny valley effect. I adore the visuals on Foption. The original Half-Life is one of my favorite single-player games of all time, and when I think about it, I've realized that Foption looks and feels like a custom Half-Life level, which makes sense as John Atea's previous work in Gold Source was making custom levels for Half-Life. Counter-Strike map design has been refined for 22 years at this point, and it is still evolving. It's such a refresher to look back to the very start and see how far we've come. Foption plays and feels so different from anything else that the game has ever had. Foption is not Counter-Strike, but Foption is essential to defining what is Counter-Strike because of its failure. With a game as old as CS, it's easy for us to just do what we do because it's what everyone else before us did. We have 2 bombsites per map because that's how it's always been. Saying because it's always been that way about anything is a poor train of thought, as it means that any alternative has never been tried. And Foption is a number of these hypotheticals given life, and its failure disproves them. In that way, Foption is an incredible piece of Counter-Strike history, and even though it hasn't been in the game for over 20 years, we can't ever forget it, and its impact will always be felt. When I call Foption the strangest map in Counter-Strike, I know that it has a negative connotation, but just know that I mean it with love. There will never be another Counter-Strike map like Foption. Thank you. Hey, I tried something a bit different with this video, just a different style of both editing and pacing in general. I hope that you guys liked it, because I liked making it. It was a lot of fun. It was a switch up from the normal, just making a video feel. But yeah, thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, leave a like, follow me on Twitter, link in the description, all that. But yeah, thanks for sticking around.